What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Selah here, and we are finally getting back into Forza Horizon 6 early access gameplay, this time with Hikoshi Hoshi. And if I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. I love your videos, man. So if I get your name wrong, understand it's just because I'm stupid. But anyway, thanks for joining me, guys, so we can watch this reaction of the he is going to break down the Forza Horizon 6 map, and we're going to see what all it has to offer. He's going to, I'm sure, show off Tokyo. I'm sure he's going to show off mountain roads because it's Hikoshi. He's going to show off probably, uh, what do you call it? The racetracks that are around the map. I'm sure he's going to focus on a lot of the beauty and the majesty because the guy did venture to actual Japan. And that's why his custom maps look so close to Japan, as close as you can get with the custom map editor that they had. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's jump into Forza Horizon 6 map breakdown with Hikoshi. Let's go. Right, here we go,
Dudes,
baby.
it's real. I have played Forza Horizon 6, and we have so
Nice.
much to talk about. For the sake of organization, I'm going
Look
to
at
split my
Japan in
coverage
the
into 3
background.
videos, with this first one focusing on nothing
Pretty.
but the map.
Very
Then we'll
pretty.
talk about car and garage customization, and then we'll
Garage
wrap up with a sort of
customization, yes.
final review of this preview, my overall thoughts on everything I experienced during this pretty small slice of the game, where we were able to compete in the Horizon qualifiers.
Love that you're driving the
Alright,
Mitsubishi
so welcome to
GTO.
Horizon Japan. This is the full map with just about every single road driven on.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought that this map was gonna be a little bit bigger, but it still just looks like an absolute blast to play on. So many switchback roads, so many, uh, even with the rally roads and stuff, they look like they got switchbacks on them too. It looks, wow, does it look cool? It does look like a lot of fun to drive on.
But right away, you probably want to see a comparison to Horizon 5. So here you go. I took a 1 kilometer stretch of drag
okay.
strip in both games to match up the map scales and got what I think is a pretty dang accurate comparison of the 2 maps.
I
I
think that's
roughly
pretty
cut out the
accurate.
playable areas of each map, removing the oceans and mountains you can't get to get rough outlines of the actual size for each map, and then calculated the area of each of those spaces and discovered that, again, roughly, Horizon 6's Japan is 25% larger
Okay.
than Horizon 5. Now, this isn't the craziest jump in map size, but what this map is doing so much better is density. Density of roads, density of
I've noticed
landmarks
that.
and other POIs, and density of elevation, I guess you could say. There is so much elevation to this map, and I think that's one of the bigger issues players had with 5. Sure,
We had a strong feeling that the DLC in Forza Horizon 5, the Rally DLC that we had a feeling that that was a test to see how they could handle elevation and uh, different winding roads, mountain roads, stuff like that. There was little pockets in there that was showing that they were testing it. And we had always thought whenever that DLC came out, we thought, oh, they're doing Japan or something like that. And that was the biggest rumor with the community. And I think we were 100% right. Pretty sure.
there was a big ol' volcano plopped in the middle of the map, but so much of that central area was just a vast expanse of fairly flat desert and farmland, which
Right.
made the map feel a lot smaller. In
Which is understandable. It was a desert. Mexico has desert. So, I mean, it is understandable, but I am so glad we're not in the desert anymore. I'm so glad we're in lush forests, amazing vistas, and just Japan all together. I can't wait.
Horizon 6, you are constantly going over hills and into valleys of the map that you just can't see from outside those valleys. So much of the map feels tucked away, it feels distant from the other locations because sight lines are so often blocked by mountain ranges or dense forests. There's really only one region where you can see more or less the full map, and that's all the way at the northern tip here in the mountains. But even here, all those ridgelines you can see hide mountain passes, river valleys, towns, parks, temples, and more. The map in Horizon 6 is not too much bigger than Horizon 5, but it does feel a lot bigger. They did a significantly better job of filling the map with interesting and unique locations and fantastic driving roads. They hid areas to make them feel far.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. You got the waterfall in the background, backroads forests, and look, it has a little bitty, like a little road that it looks like you can go right down to the waterfall. Oh man, dude, photos in this map is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have so many places to take such good photos of my custom cars. Not even to mention the garage design and stuff that I'll be able to take photos in. Oh, dude. This is exciting.
Away with better use of sightlines and elevation, and made sure that those big sweeping vistas that you do occasionally get
Look at that with the cherry blossoms.
I have some smaller critiques, and we will get.
Look at that. Look at the colors. It's so colorful. That's the one thing I love about what I've been seeing with this map. It is so colorful. Like, from what I've heard, that's a real place in Japan, and I saw that in JDM Driftmaster as well. So I'm pretty sure that's a real place. I'm not as in tune of like what Japan offers and what kind of areas and stuff, but I can just say the country is absolutely beautiful. Just the region is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Into those, but overall, I think they nailed the map. This was the biggest criticism players had about Horizon 5, and they delivered on it for 6. I think people are going to be really happy, and we need to talk about what they actually put in this map,
fishing
because
village.
It does keep
That's
getting
so
better.
cool.
As we've known, Playground finally, for kind of the first time, put multiple racetracks in the open world.
Yes,
and this is a massive improvement for me. Now, these have open world time attack events attached to them, which is awesome. We'll talk about that more later. But just having these tracks at all gives players a natural place to race, rally, or drift. So I went on a mission to find all the circuits in Horizon 6, starting with the one we've seen the most, this Ebisu-like location up in the mountains called Sony Circuit. This track looks like it's going to be a great fit for both low and higher classes of racing. It's wide enough to get side by side, but still somewhat tight by Horizon racing standards. I still think faster cars are going to be really fun here, but where Sony really shines to me is like mid-class racing, and of course is roughly modeled after a real place famous for drifting, so it's good for that too. This course is awesome. The views are top-notch.
I like that
here.
switch over.
I think it'll be an easy fan favorite, but let's move on to the next. This is another one we've seen a little bit of from the IGN coverage.
A lot of people
it's called Hokubu, and unlike Sony, this one doesn't seem to be too heavily inspired by a real-world location. That said, this one is probably my favorite layout for racing. It's a really fun course. It also has some great elevation. It's still pretty tight, but even in faster cars, you can open it up a bit. Something that'll be a pretty common theme across all these tracks is that they are tighter, shorter courses, much more in the vibe of your local town's racetrack. Something like Yamanashi. Not a huge GP layout, but we will get to that.
I have to say, I love that they put in actual racetracks into the map, like stuff that you can drive to. That's one thing I really like about CarX Drift. Whenever you're doing the free roam, you can just drive from place to place to place to place in all these different location areas, especially in the new one, which I will have footage coming up soon of that. But yeah, this is really, really cool. Like, I love how they have these actual racetracks that you can sanction and drive to, and then they have time attacks connected to them. That's just super cool, man. Like, that's pretty cool.
course is the only one where we had time attacks unlocked in the preview, and just doing them here at this one course was super fun. It's a very addicting, like just one more lap kind of feel, similar obviously to Rivals, but for this it's just so easy to jump into because it's all in the open world and a bit more casual. I did discover that you can rewind during the time attacks, which is probably by design. Again, these are meant to be more casual, but it does mean that more dedicated players are probably just going to abuse rewind at least a bit.
Y'all, you're gonna have to change that. Playground games, you're gonna have to change that, because I promise you that's going to ruin things. You need to make it that if somebody does a rewind, it shuts off their time limit for that time attack. It has to be a one-shot run. That's just how it needs to be. I don't like that.
In order to top the boards. We'll see how that all plays out though. Now we're going to move on to the tightest track of the bunch.
All you
the best
need is
one, in
coffee.
my opinion, for drifting, Shimanoyama Drift Circuit. This is obviously designed to be a drift layout.
Dude, look at... Hold on.
It's very tight, very flowy, again with some good...
Look at that! He's got freaking design. It's like a... It looks like it's a... The spoiler is a see-through spoiler. A flip-up see-through spoiler. Dude, that's... Now that I like. That's cool. I bet that's just specific for that car, though. It's probably... It looks kind of like a D1 car kind of thing, so... Like a Formula Drift specific car. But, that's still pretty cool. I definitely will do something with that.
Elevation, and even considering all the mountain roads, I think this is going to be a big spot for drifting. But also like low-class K-car racing. I love that we have practically a go-kart track that'll make even D-class K-cars feel super fun to race with. Now there is one more track I found on the mainland. We're going to Sekibe Circuit. This is an off-road layout, very much built for rallycross. It's a bit flatter overall, but is somewhat longer than the other paved tracks we've seen so far, and still has some banking and a few bumps and jumps. What's more unique about this circuit is that it has a bunch of layout variations. So for Event Lab, if you want to make your own races here, you have a good handful of built-in options. And like there's even a pretty obvious spot here for a Joker lap. So that is every official racetrack that I found anyway on the mainland. However, there is at least one more. We, of course, could not access Legend Island. You can't get here until you beat the game. Trust me, I tried. But we can still see it on the map, and you can zoom in on photo mode from the mainland to see another racetrack. And unlike the ones we've seen so far, this one looks much bigger, much more of a proper GP circuit with like big runoffs. This is probably going to be the racetrack for high-class competitive racing. And there you have it.
That's the first person I've seen that zoomed into it. That's definitely a proper GT circuit, for sure.
Horizon 6 has 5 different racetracks scattered around the map that are built for kind of all different types of driving. This alone is such a massive improvement over really anything else we've had in the series. We've been wanting racetracks in Horizon forever.
He's driving the Honda
Horizon
Civic.
5 gave us a decent road track, and I guess sort of a rallycross / cross-country circuit area as well, but nothing like this. This is so much better. And the fun doesn't stop there, because now it's time to talk about the toges. We did know these were...
Look at that. It looks like it mixes up, like one goes under the other. Oh, wow. Look at that. Not even to mention the ambiance, man. That is beautiful. Oh, man. We're going to be playing this game so much.
Coming in some capacity, but I did not think we were getting actual proper road layouts of famous mountain passes in Japan. When I first jumped into the game, of course, as soon as I could, I paused to look at the map and scan around to find places that looked interesting. Almost right away, this stuck out to me as familiar. This is actually Mount Haruna. You might know this as Mount Akima from Initial D, but it is also a real place. Here's an overlay of Google Google Maps against the in-game map, and you can
Wow,
see it's
that's
pretty much the
1-to-1
same, but
almost.
not entirely one-to-one. They are kind of missing the true start point of the layout, with the parking areas on both sides all covered by trees, and the first corner is definitely wider in Horizon than in real life, but then the rest of the layout is very close until you get to the end, where the Horizon layout does end before the true layout. You miss like the last kilometer or so of the run. Now, as you drive this road, you aren't gonna see like all the exact same props and buildings along the layout. Some places where there should be signs, houses, or other landmarks.
I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody doesn't do it, I'm going to do it. We're going to make it look like Mount Akina. Absolutely. Going to make it look just like Mount Akina, where I'm going to actually go through the episode and I'm going to match up different places, and then I'm going to take that exact route and I'm going to put it into what do you call it? Into what's it called? Blueprint mode, and I'm going to edit all of the proper things on the side, and we're going to make it look as close to Initial D as we possibly can, with rest stops and the whole 9 yards, because that's criminal. We need to at least make it look more like it. At least have a version that looks like it.
Aren't there. So again, not a one-to-one, but it is so much closer than I ever expected. So mixed isn't the right word for this, but I'm kind of mixed because on the one hand, it's so unbelievable to me that we have this at all. Open world Japan game with Mount Haruna, it's incredible, but also like slightly a bummer that it's just 80% of Haruna. In a perfect world, I would have loved to see the full layout, or at least a few more buildings and props to match the look of the real place. That said, ignoring the fact that this is a real place, it's still just an amazing road in Horizon. Like, regardless of how close it matches the real thing, it's just a good road to have. We don't get a lot of this stuff in the series, and now we're overflowing with it. So that is one of the toges I found in Horizon 6. Let's jump over to another one we've seen in some early shots, Hakone Nanamagari. Now this one is a much shorter section of road. In real life, and again in Initial D, the switchbacks part of the road is just part of a much bigger pass. That said, this is by far the most popular section of it, and in Horizon, even has a matching bit of highway crossing through the hairpins, which is a very important detail. Again, may not be the full thing. I mean, this one's really just one famous chunk of the full layout, but it's still really cool to see, and is another type of road that we've just never had before in Horizon. Power builds will not work here. Now, I also found Bandai Atsuma while cruising around. This one we heard about in the Dev Direct. And
man, Hikoshi, you definitely stick to your quality name, dude. You know this stuff. It's obvious you've been to Japan. This is crazy. I wish I knew all this stuff, but he's good, isn't he, guys?
This is a pretty huge stretch of road in the mountains of Japan, nearly 30 kilometers long, very famous driving road, and in Horizon it looks like we're getting a more inspired chunk of it. More traditional Horizon style, where it's like, yeah, you can tell what this is supposed to be, but it's not a full copy. And that's fine. Like, to be honest, all of my criticisms here exist within the idea that this is really cool overall and kind of exceeds my expectations. Just getting a bunch of mountain roads is nice. The fact that they're inspired to varying degrees by real places is even cooler. It does just leave that idea on the table of like, ah man, it'd be cool if we got the full thing, but that just isn't feasible in a Horizon style map. And speaking of routes that feel more loosely inspired by a real place, I also found the Norikura skyline. Similar to Bandai Atsuma, this is much more of a spiritual recreation, taking some parts from the route and blending them together into a pretty good-sized road that gives you the general feeling without matching every corner one-to-one. At least, I don't think. This is not a layout I'm very familiar with. But I did cruise around Google Maps for a while and saw plenty of spots that look similar. The overall scenery is very close, and again, this road is a blast. Okay, so this is where I need your guys' help. I found a handful of other spots that look like they could be real locations. This spot here that goes winding up a mountain has a hairpin at the top, and then this very real looking set of corners next to a river has gotta be inspired by a real place. This section just looks too familiar and intentionally designed. This, by the way, is an incredible road. Driving along the river is just gorgeous.
I
I
just
am
saw a
sharing
hidden
the
little
image I made
path.
of the full map, so you guys pour it over, and if you find anything else recognizable, definitely let me know. There are quite a few other mountain roads scattered around,
Oh,
so
I'm
I
gonna
think
be
there's
having
gotta be more
so
named
much
roads. And
fun
with
with
that,
this
we've now
map.
covered all of the racetracks and mountain passes that I could find. I am, again, so glad to have all of this. It's more than I could have hoped for, and that's on top of also having a massive city and a highway with multiple routes. Yeah, we've held off long enough. Let's talk about Tokyo. For a
Yeah.
Horizon map, it's a huge city. They weren't joking when they said it's the biggest one yet, and what, like 5 times the size of Guanajuato, which, based on my map, is actually a bit of an undersell. I calculated it at 5.4 times larger. That said,
Wow.
even
All right.
considering Surfer's Paradise, this is the first time I truly feel like we've gotten a real modern city in Horizon. Now, obviously, Tokyo is one of the biggest cities in the world. Its
Yep.
true size would dwarf this entire
That's what I
map,
thought.
so it
Yeah.
was never going to be massive on that scale. But like with the map as a whole,
I'll be honest. I was expecting that Tokyo was gonna be half the map, and then the rest of the map would be the mountain roads, switchbacks, the beautiful vistas and stuff. I was hoping that the map was gonna be about 2 times bigger than Forza Horizon 5, and like I said, one half of the map would be Tokyo, the other half would be the outskirts and the mountains and all that stuff. So, I mean, by that standard, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm still fine. I'm still very happy with what we have. It's just feel like if you're gonna do Tokyo for the first time in a game, like a big open world Tokyo, at least get it about half the scale. It's you couldn't do what you did with Surfer's Paradise, where it was just barely a few buildings. But I think they found a healthy medium. I feel like they couldn't do all that they wanted to do. Um, but that being said, it's a little disappointing it's not half the map. Just saying. Just saying.
they've done a great job of playing with perspective and sightlines to make the city feel truly big. And I mean, it is big. This is
And understand, I'm not making fun of this or anything like that. I think that what we've got right here is awesome, super awesome. I think it's very cool, and very excited to explore it. It's just, like I said, wish it was bigger because I like Tokyo and I want to see Tokyo big time. But trust me, we're gonna be spending a lot of time in this little section.
actually a pretty realistically sized downtown area for a small to medium city in the real world. And we've just never had that before. So, like with most things in Horizon, and honestly in video games in general, it feels real enough. It is super
Yeah,
dense with a ton of
I can see that.
variety. The different districts all feel distinct. There are tons of recognizable landmarks all over. I love that they put a bunch of parks around the city,
I just keep stopping it, guys. I just keep pausing it. Look at how pretty it looks. How pretty this whole map is, man. It's mwah, beautiful. Just beautiful.
including some bigger named ones. That's something so iconic to Tokyo for me. And then, of course, you've got Tokyo Tower, Shibuya Crossing, Ginkgo Avenue, and then the Rainbow Bridge, which, unlike real life,
Yeah.
this time
There's the
takes you
Rainbow
over to
Bridge.
Daikoku, and an industrial area very reminiscent of
That is where we're going to spend a lot of time in. I bet all of those industrial areas have the warehouses open. You can wander through like container areas and all the industrial spots. There's probably drop bays. There's probably all kinds of stuff. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm going to be tearing it up with my custom cars.
wharf. Then across the bay, you have a big docks area where that
Yep,
rush event
right
from
there.
the IGN
That is
coverage takes
exactly where
place,
I'll be.
and this has plenty of real estate for drifting and stunts. It's obviously an evolution of like the docks area from Horizon 2 or the shipping crates area in Horizon 4. This area also has a huge multi-story parking
Ooh, buddy. Oh, yeah, we got ourselves a parking garage. Oh, that looks awesome. Oh, wow, that looks really awesome. Wow. And look how it connects to the other ones, I think. That's crazy.
Garage. Back in downtown, though, there are
Wow.
tons of little back streets to discover. These are going to be great
Yes.
photo spots, I'm sure, but you can't go everywhere. This is where some of that video
Yeah,
gaminess
look at
comes into
that.
play. Tokyo in Horizon is a big city, but some of it is out of bounds and only used for
Wow.
decoration. Now that's fine, really every Horizon game has done this. It's very normal for gaming as a whole, but it is worth mentioning. A lot of these
Wow.
neighborhood areas, especially around the outskirts of the city, cannot be driven through, or maybe like have one through street. So you do still get the feeling of being in a city, but a lot of these pocket neighborhoods are just for show. I also want to point out that while the
That's
city
fine.
as a whole is great, I couldn't find any underground parking, and that shocked me. I thought
No underground parking garages? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Not one? Maybe you just didn't find them. I don't know. I couldn't imagine playground games would not put at least one underground parking garage. In Tokyo, there's no way.
for sure we were going to get an underground parking garage, especially considering the fact that Akiba is a location in the game and has the very famous UDX parking garage right there. I feel like it would have been a sure thing to have something similar in the map. Maybe I just haven't found it, but I looked all over, I swear. With that though, we gotta talk about the highway, because within Tokyo City alone, there are like half a dozen highway routes.
Dude,
It's not
look at the tri mufflers tips on the back of that. I love that. That's super cool, man. I love that the Honda Civics are coming back in a big way in this game. And super excited.
just one loop. There are tons of entrances and exits and overpasses
Nice.
and ramps, and you
Very
can
nice.
seriously get lost on the highway as it winds through the city. It's amazing. They nailed it. There is a sort of
Oh yeah.
C1-ish loop, not one to
We gonna be having some highway pulls. Faux show.
one at all, but kind of a loop that feels and looks C1-ish. And then look at Daikoku. This is a proper mess of highway.
Can't wait for Daikoku. Absolutely. Because that's going to be a car meet area, and this is going to be a really great place to run into people and stuff. And I can see you sitting right down there because I've seen that symbol before. That's a custom car that you can find.
As it should be. And over
Nice.
at the Rainbow Bridge, you actually have both layers of the road that are drivable. People
That's
that love
cool.
cruising the highway are going to have so much fun just in the city. Like, it will take you some time to learn how to navigate the highway. Also,
I
you
love it.
guys were right, this is meant to be the Tatsumi parking area. I wish it looked a little closer to the real thing, but still, like with the mountain roads, it's neat that it's here at all.
That
Now,
is
of course,
cool.
the highway extends beyond just downtown Tokyo. There is a huge loop surrounding a big chunk of the map, and this is a great layout for some high-speed cruises.
I love it.
Finally, we don't
Love
just
it.
have a straight back and forth strip of highway, we actually have a proper loop again, and this is hands down the best one we've had yet. In an A-class car,
Wow.
averaging around 150 miles an hour, it took me over 10 minutes to complete a loop of the highway. And what's crazy is that this loop
10 minutes at 150 miles per hour going around the map. That's not bad.
doesn't even encompass the whole map. Like, there is a chunk of map north of the highway and even quite a bit south of it as well. So this game has the best highways in Horizon by a long shot. Also,
Wow.
the most
Nice.
roads and highest road density as well, the biggest and most detailed city by far, multiple racetracks, multiple named mountain passes, and multiple drag strips. Although that isn't much of a new thing, but hey, these ones are actually functional, like with working light trees and multiplayer functionality, and they even have proper return roads as well.
There
They're
you
kind
go.
of checking all the boxes here when it comes to the map, but you guys know there is one aspect of open worlds that is so important to me, and it's something that a lot of racing games drop the ball on. So, how full of life is Horizon 6's Japan? Well, we can start back in the city. Guys, they did find the lost code for walking pedestrians, and they are all over. Of course, with this being
It did actually feel like they did lose the lost code. But that is, yeah. So they are actually walking. They will be on the sidelines walking and look, taking pictures and stuff. That's cool. I like that. Gives it a little bit more vibe, a little bit more life.
Being a game targeting an E for everyone rating, they can't put pedestrians in the streets where you could hit them or try to hit them, but I do feel like they kind of did what they could within that limitation. There are some very lively parts of the city. That was always a big thing missing from Horizon 5. Not a single pedestrian walked in that game, and Guanajuato felt like a ghost town. But now you see people a lot more often. This extends outside the city as well. There are people at the racetracks, for example. The festival is absolutely full of them. And then even in some of the walled off parks or areas you might not think would be busy, they put a lot of people. Now, it's not like the map is swarming with pedestrians. There are definitely many spots in the city, for example, that still feel emptier than they realistically would be. Like the parks that you can drive through don't have any people in them because you'd be able to try hitting them. But overall, it is a big step up, and most of the time is enough to at least sort of sell the experience to me, and that's all I ever wanted. Vehicle traffic is, I think, fine as well. Some people are, I'm sure, going to be bummed it's not super packed in the city, and I do get that from an immersion standpoint. While there is a level of activity here, it's not like a real city amount of traffic. It's more of a 3 a.m. kind of vibe. But obviously, those are sacrifices made for both performance and, more importantly, gameplay. Rush hour traffic is not my idea of fun driving, so I'm okay with this. It's enough to add a level of variety and liveliness and dynamic driving without being annoyingly dense and ruining my ability to race through the city. Now, the traffic, for like the first time ever, actually now extends beyond people and cars. They took a page out of the Rally Adventure book and put helicopters flying around over Tokyo. And there are moving boats. Other Horizon games have had boats, but they were all stationary. Now they move. And then, of course, we got trains. We have the Shinkansen, the bullet train. You'll see this kind of all over the map. But then there's also local metro lines through the city. And I guess like a regional train that I saw going all over the map as well, with stops in some of the towns. Just like with the highways, it isn't just one simple...
Did you see when it goes by? It moves the, what do you call it? It moves the power lines and stuff. I couldn't think of what I was going to say. But yeah, look, it moves the power lines as the train goes by, like it's shifting the ground. That's a good little detail. I like that.
Simple loop for the trains. There are actually multiple trains and lines all over the place. I know it's silly to get excited about boats, planes, and trains in a car game, but these are the things that sell that experience. It's what makes the map feel real and alive, and I love it. For wildlife, there are birds all over the map that fly away as you drive past them. And get ready for my favorite thing ever in a Forza game, as a huge aquarium nerd, koi fish. Like real swimming koi fish, and multiple varieties of them. I love this. The last time I was in Japan, like half the videos I took were of the fish in the lakes and ponds, and they actually put them in the game. It's all about those small details. Horizon 6 is definitely the most alive map we've ever had. There is still room for improvement. Not being able to put pedestrians where cars can go is a pretty big restriction, but they have met my expectations here. I wanted a map that felt more alive, and I did get one. It's very clear that they put effort into this. And with that, folks, it's time to wrap up this deep dive into Horizon 6's map. Of course, there is so much of the world that I didn't see and didn't show off to you guys. Like, we barely went to any of the smaller towns. We didn't check out the stadium or anything. We can't get to Legend Island. There is so much left to explore.
Look at that, man. That's so pretty. I can't wait to take photos. I can't wait to take photos. Like, that's just honest. Like, there's so many great things to take photos of this one. Especially for a tuner car lover like me. I'm into JDM and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
And it feels worth exploring. This is easily the best map they've ever done. And while it is going to take some time for this sort of honeymoon phase to wear off, my early thought is that this could be finally a Horizon map worthy of being among my favorite racing game worlds of all time.
Oh,
It's
wow,
not as
really?
big as TDU 1 and 2 or The Crew 1 and 2, but it is so densely packed with Japanese landmarks and landscapes, and the road layouts are fantastic. We do have to end with a final critique though, and this is kind of a weird one. So the player base has kind of been figuring this out as time goes on, and by now I'm sure you've all realized Mount Fuji is not part of the map. And while
Yeah,
most people knew the whole thing wouldn't be drivable or anything, I and many others still hoped we'd be able to drive like right up to the base of it,
I
or maybe
agree.
even partway up the mountain. Now what's extra odd about this is that Fuji Kawaguchiko, a beautiful town at the base of the mountain that was the very first thing we saw in the reveal trailer, is also not in the game.
That is true. We don't see that. That is very true. Huh. I wonder if they took it out or it's going to be a DLC. Huh. I don't know.
think it would be right here. Like, this lake has some very obvious similarities to the real one, and is even oriented in the correct direction to Mount Fuji. I think this is where the town was supposed to be. I think they wanted to put it here, but couldn't for some reason. Now, this is especially strange because it means that nothing we saw in that reveal trailer is actually a part of the game. I mean, yeah, Mount Fuji is technically in the game as part of the backdrop, but you can't get anywhere near it. And this town just flat out doesn't exist in the game whatsoever, which really bums me out because I've actually stayed here. And when I saw that reveal trailer, I was so excited to be able to go back there in the game. I thought, of course it'll be part of the game. Why would they show it otherwise? And funny enough, in game, there is another lake that's right next to Mount Fuji. This is like a full one-to-one recreation of Lake Motosu, but it's out of bounds as well. They've never done this before, putting like multiple major landmarks outside the bounds of the map. So I think this was supposed to be drivable in an early version of the map, because why else would the reveal trailer show it to us? And why else would this landscape...
See, that's pretty. See, I'm going to take a wonderful guess, okay? And we'll see if I'm right. I think this will be the first Forza Horizon where all the DLCs, map packs that come out are going to be expansions to the map. And you can actually keep them on the same map and you just drive to them. What I'm calling. We'll see if I'm right. But it looks like they're building this map to be expanded, not it looks like you're going to be able to build onto it and go to different places. That's what it looks like.
match up so well. Maybe, hopefully, on my maximum dose of hopium, this will be an expansion area, and they're finally connecting DLC maps to the base game. But I don't...
Me and Hikoshi, we understand each other. That is exactly what I just said. Yes, that's exactly what I think is going to happen. It's a big dose of hopium, like he said, but I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know. It just, the map looks like it's going to expand.
I don't want to get my hopes up for that. Anyways, there you have it, dudes. Horizon Japan. It is an amazing map that has, by and large, met and in some ways exceeded my expectations. It was never going to have everything everyone wanted, but I feel like they did a pretty dang good job nonetheless. The expectations here were very high. So, of course, let me know what you all think about the map, where they did well, what you maybe think they could have done better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon for a deep dive on cars, handling, and customization.
Sweet. So, there you have it, guys. There is Forza Horizon 6. We finally have gotten a deep dive of the map in a way where it doesn't really spoil a ton for you, but it still gives you an idea of the majesty and the beauty of what this map offers. I don't know what to say. This is still on my top of my list of most anticipated games this year. I'm not changing that. I'm super excited for this. I can't wait. I'm pumped to play this. And we will be posting this onto YouTube. We'll be showing all the all the clips and everything on my channel once the game is in my hands and I actually get a little chance to play into it. Um, but with that being said, we have checked out this. We'll probably do a deep dive of customization as much as they let them have, because I found out that the early access did not allow paint customization and vinyl editing, which that's my thing. That's what I love to do more than anything on Forza. So that may not be as much fun to watch. And then we'll look at garage customization. And then I think that should do it for the clips that I feel like I want to react to. I just wanted to see those areas. Wanted to see the map. I want to see the customization. I wanted to see a few features. I wanted to see a deep dive of Tokyo, and I wanted to see a deep dive of the garage customization. All the other stuff that I'm interested in, they won't show until the game comes out. So we won't be doing a reaction to it. We will be playing it and posting it on the channel. So anyway, thank you so much for everybody watching. Hope you guys had a fun time watching this as I did. If you enjoyed that video, Hikoshi, he is an awesome YouTuber, and totally go subscribe to him. I will put his video link in the bio. I mean, in the description. I'm sorry. And if you liked my video, my reaction, and you're a huge Forza fan, where else were you gonna be? I mean, you're gonna be at Hikoshi's, his channel, but be here too, because I'm a huge Forza fan, and we're gonna be putting more and more stuff out there. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, please join my channel. Join us in this journey as we journey into Japan and anything and beyond. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember, always play your games. Don't let them play you. Peace.